Hello everyone, Devashree here. This is day 4 of my assignment. So let's quickly start with assignment question number 1. So question number 1 is, what are different algorithms on which load balancer works? Please explain at least 3 algorithms with example. So basically we should know what is load balancer. Load balancer is a device which balances the load on the server, right? What is load balancing then? Load balancing is a balancing refers to the efficient distribution of incoming network traffic over a over a group of backend servers, or also it provides any server from getting overloaded. So this is what load balancing is. So what is load balancing algorithm again? So load balancing is an algorithm. Algorithm means it is a logic used by a load balancer to distribute a network traffic between the servers. So there are different types of algorithms that are round robin algorithm, uh, list connection algorithm, random algorithm, weighted round robin algorithm, weighted list connection algorithm, fixed weighting algorithm, and many more. So we are here in this video, we are discussing 3 algorithms that are round robin algorithm, list connection algorithm, and the random algorithm. So moving to the round robin algorithm. So what is round robin algorithm? It is a simpler way to distribute a client request to a server. Uh, it is a very simple way, right? So here in this round robin algorithm, what it does, it here the client request from the client request is forwarded to the server from in turns, right? It is requested in turns, right? So when it instructs the load balancer to go to the top of the list and again repeat it, right? So when suppose for example client 1 request goes to server A, client 2 request goes to server B, client 3 request goes to server C. So for the next client, that is client 4, the request will go to server A, and client 5 the request will go to server B, and client 6 the request will go to server C. Accordingly, this will work again. So this is what round robin balancing algorithm is. Now moving to the next, that is list connection algorithm. So what is list connection algorithm? It is the algorithm where it takes into the consideration the lowest server which is having the lowest. It considers a server which is having lowest uh, load on that particular time. So this request will be sent to that particular server only, right? Here we can see, for example, there are 4 servers like 459, 460, 461, and 470. Here on 459, we can see it is on high load. On 460, it is a moderate load, and 461 is a minimum load. But on 470, it is having no load at that particular time. So the next request from the client will be sent it to or forwarded to the 470 number, because the next request goes to full member with the fewest open connection, right? And it is having no connection or the no load on that particular instance. So the next request would be sent to 470 server number. This is what list connection algorithm is. Now moving to the random balancing algorithm. The name itself suggests the load balancer will forward the request to the random server, right? So load balancer generates a random, uses a random number generator, right? So it uses a random number generator for generation of the number, and then it sends to a request to the server. So this is what the 3 algorithms are: round robin algorithm, list connection algorithm, and random algorithm. Now moving to the second question, mention at least 5 different use cases where you think cron job is set in the application you use on day-to-day basis, such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Flipkart, Amazon, etc. So basically we should know what is cron job. So cron job is automated report, right? So it is an automated report, and it is a command which executes on a particular time, where developer writes a code in Python called script on a server for by considering some conditions, right? When that conditions becomes true, then only that script gets triggered and it executes. So what is cron job? Cron job allows you to automate specific command or script on your server to complete repetitive tasks automatically. The cron command line utility, also known as cron job, is a job scheduler on Unix-like operating systems. User who set up and maintain software environments use cron to schedule jobs to run periodically at fixed times, dates, or intervals. Now, the 5 different use cases for the cron jobs are: the first one is the birthday notification for every year or for each member on the Facebook. Second one is to uh, for monthly or weekly chat backup for WhatsApp. The third one is monthly subscription alert for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar, like OTP platforms, like the monthly subscription alert for them. The fourth one is sending a newsletter on a weekly basis. And the fifth one is to send a post on in a particular time for a particular social media for marketing purpose. These are the some of the use cases for cron job, where cron job can be said. So now moving to the third question. Create a document to explain New Relic dashboard with screenshot so that the video which you have watched, other person need not to watch it and understand what are different things on New Relic dashboard and what is their use. So basically we should know what is New Relic. So New Relic is a cloud-based software for the website or application owners to track the performance of their services, right? It also helps to it also helps in troubleshooting the problems. Now we'll see what are the components of New Relic dashboard. So New Relic dashboard contains time picker, JVM, web transaction time, update score, throughput, transaction, application activity, error rate, and the host. So we'll see it one by one. What does they mean? So here we can see time picker on the left top, right? So this is what the time picker, where we can select a particular time constant context, right? Where we can see all the transaction for that particular time, for that particular day, where how the application was behaving for that particular time on that particular day. So by selecting that window, we can see that, right? So now moving to the JVM. JVM is nothing but Java virtual machine, right? So here we can see the number of servers we are using for running this application, right? So on the drop down, we can see the number of servers. Okay, so all JVMs, right? Here we are seeing the consolidated data for all the JVM here. But if we want to see for the particular server how it is behaving, we can just go to this drop down and select one of them, and we can see results for that particular server, how it is behaving, right? Now, what is app depth score? Sorry, what is web transaction time? So it is a consolidated for the whole application, how it is running or how it is performing or how it is responding, right? So it is a consolidated chart, and it is again divided into the categories, right? We can see the categories on the below, in the below line. See, these are the categories, right? So what is JVM? That is in blue color. JVM is the server code at the application code. And the patch we can see here is the time consumed by the code to execute. So this is what the blue shade indicates. Here, Redis and MySQL are the database used by this application. This application is using two databases. That's why there are two databases, right? In yellow color and peach color. We can see a peach color here, right? So it is the time taken by database MySQL, right? So here we can't see Redis, right? It is because the time consumed by Redis is lesser than the time mentioned here. So if we want to check for Redis, just we need to unselect these three, that is JVM, MySQL, web external and response time. By just unselecting them and selecting just one, you can see Redis time graph, right? You can see the graph for Redis. So here we can select just two all categories, and anything will separately we can also see the graph for individuals, right? So web external, what is web external? It is a calling service. The HTTP, it calls service like HTTP. So this graph or this space is shown, that is the calling service time, right? It uses that. It actually displays that. And this is the response time. The blue line displays the response time for that particular application. So what is update score? So update score is that is your application working to your expectations or not, right? So this is this data in square bracket is the expected time to be work as expected, right? It should be work on this expected time, and this is the actual data. So it becomes easy to compare between these two and find whether the application is working as your expectations are or not. So this is what update score is. The throughput is nothing but the request received per minute. So this is the again timeline, and this is the number of requests. So number of requests per minute are not is throughput. So moving to the next, that is transactions. Transactions are login, categories, login.html, index.html is that these are the transactions for that particular application. Here on the right side, we can see average time consumed by the functionality to execute, right? So these are the uh, response time, lowest response time for that particular functionality to execute. Here we can see 1.6 seconds, right? This is the slowest response time for the login functionality. So by clicking on this 1.6, we can go into the depth of that particular functionality, right? So this is what transaction is. Now moving to the error rate. Error rate is nothing, but it is the point at which of what time the point of what time the error is occurring, right? So at what time the error is occurring is displayed, or is we can get a clarity where the error is coming, on what instance it is coming, right? So application activity, what is application activity? Application activity is nothing but the list of notable events of that particular application. All the notable events that application is having, it will be listed here. Now, what is host? Host is the list on which our application is running, right? So these are the host on which this application is running. So it is used to compare between two hosts whether which host is performing better than the other. So these are some parameters like updates, response time, throughput, error rate, CPU usage, and memory. These are some parameters of, on what which basis we can actually see what is the how the host is performing better than the other. Where you can see this icon, right? This icon, when we click on this icon, it gives the graphical representation for the same, where you can easily visualize the difference between the host working, two different hosts working, and you can then compare and conclude which host is performing better than the other. So now moving to the last and the fourth question, that is list out different use cases where we can use AWS Cloudwatch. So what is AWS Cloudwatch again? So AWS Cloudwatch is a native monitoring tool for Amazon program, right? It provides data collection and resource monitoring capability. So CloudWatch collects monitoring and operational data in the form of logs, metrics, and events, and visualizes it using automated dashboards. So you can get a unified view of your AWS resources, applications, and service that run on AWS and on premises. So use cases for that is like we can monitor our application, resource use, and the operation health also. The second use case may be it provides a option for visualizing a log, creating a creating a data creating a alert for an event in that particular application. So this is some, these are some, what we can say, these are some use case where we can use CloudWatch. Thank you.